All right, today's lesson is 24, adding and subtracting decimal numbers. What's our objective? Get ready?
Adding and subtracting decimal numbers.
Very good. Again, most of us have had this lesson before in elementary school. We're going to review it to make sure we're all solid and perfect on it and that it's easy for you. To add and subtract decimals, you first align the decimals. What do we do first? Get ready?
Align the decimals.
Align the decimals. So 12.5 plus 3.75. Again, I'm lining the decimals. And then 2, there are no decimals, but there's an invisible one there. So it goes there. And all the empty spots I fill in with zeros. Stack them up so I can see my hundredths column. 5 plus 0 plus 0. 7 plus 5 would be 12. Carry the 1. Bring down my decimal. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. And then the 1 we get 18.25. We've done these before. So now we're going to subtract. 5.2 minus 2.88. Again, align the decimals. So 2.88. We subtract. We're going to fill that empty spot with a 0. Can't subtract 0 minus 8, so we're going to borrow. Becomes a 1, and we regroup. We get a 10 minus 8 is 2. 1 minus 8 we can't do. We borrow. That becomes a 4. We regroup here. 11 minus 8 is 3. Bring down the decimal. 4 minus 2 is 2. Any questions? Give me a thumbs up if I knew that. Mrs. Boone, I got it. Thumbs down if, can you do one more? I'm a little lost. We're okay. All right, I'm going to let you do one now. Gregory's temperature was 100.2 degrees Fahrenheit. He's got a fever because there's a lot of strep going around right now. And maybe he needs more cowbell. I don't know. Let's see. The thermometer marked 98.6 degrees is normal. How many degrees above normal is he? So what's the difference between these two numbers? Write that on your paper. It's a subtraction problem, right? Solve that and then put your pencil in the air when you've got it. All right, everyone did great. What's the answer, class? Get ready?
1.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Very good. I'm not going to go over it. Everybody had it. Nice. Okay, that's the end of the first part of our lesson. We're going to go right into lesson 25. This is how to multiply and divide decimal numbers. What's our objective? Get ready?
How to multiply and divide decimal numbers.
Very good. It's different than adding and subtraction where you line up the decimals. When you multiply and divide, you have to move the decimal around or count decimal places. So, first thing we're going to look at is 0.3 times 0.12. We're going to stack them together. I like the one with the most digits on top. Mrs. Boone, you forgot your decimals. I'm going to put them in at the end. Because right now it looks easier and you do the same process. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3. But now I need to count the total number of places. This has 1 decimal place. This number has 2 decimal places. So I go 1, 2, 3. There's 3 total decimal places. So I come to my answer, I start with my invisible decimal spot, and I count 3 places to the left. Count with me, ready? 1, 2, 3. I draw my decimal in, I put the space holder, becomes a 0, and then before I write my answer, I get rid of the swoops. Because if I'm looking at this, I can't tell, did you swoop from here to here, or did you swoop from here to here? So make sure in your final answer, erase your swoops, or just copy it again. Let's try this one. 1.5 squared means 1.5 times 1.5. For sake of multiplying, let's get rid of them just so we can see an easy multiplication. To save time, since this is like 4th grade stuff, it's 225. But now let's put our decimals back in. How many total decimal places do I have? I have 1 here and another 1 here. So I go 1, 2, and I start from here and I go 1, 2, and I draw it in, I rewrite my number, 2.25, and box my answer. Thumbs up if you're good, makes sense. Thumbs down, I'm a little bit lost, this is brand new. Never seen it before, okay, we're good. All right. If I've got a multiply by 10, a shortcut is count the number of zeros, and you can move the decimal over that many times. So if there's 1 0, move it to the right once. Wait a minute, do I move it right or left, and how can I remember that? Hannah? If I'm dividing, go to the left. If you're timesing, go to the right. Here's a way to remember it so you don't have to memorize it. If I'm timesing it by 10, aren't I making a larger number? So if I want to make 4.25 become larger, I've got to move it to the right. To become 42.5, it became larger. If I'm dividing, I should get a smaller number, so that'll help me remember, oh yeah, I'm going to make it smaller, like 0.4 if I was dividing. Okay? All right, so let's try an example with dollars and pounds. What's the cost of 0.86 pounds of cheese at $3.90 per pound? Explain why your answer is reasonable. So if I had 1 pound of $3.90, it cost me $3.90. If I had 2 pounds, it cost me twice as much. If I had 3 pounds, it cost me 3 times as much. See the times in there? We're going to times in this one. Right? So we're going to times the number of pounds times the price of each pound. We're going to multiply. Let's stack it. 3.90 times 0.86. Like we did before, let's get rid of the decimals for now. Go ahead and do a multiply. So 0, 54, 18 plus 5 is 23, space holder, 8 times 0, 0, 8 times 9 is 72, 7, 24 plus 7 is 31. We stack and add 0, 4, 5, 3, 3. Decimals. We had a decimal here, we had a decimal here. Let's count places together. Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Starting here, ready again?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Perfect. Rewrite your answer, 3.354, and we're in dollars. So I should probably think now, what's the right format to write it in, Emma?
You let the 4 rest, so it's just 3.35.
Okay, she says we got to round this digit. 4 is going to make this one rest, so I'm going to rewrite it as 3.35.
What if you're talking about gas?
Oh,
'Cause
gas
gas
will
uses
have more digits. They will.
It's big.
For everything else, for cheese, we're going to keep it with 2 digits. All right, and we didn't explain why it was reasonable. Well, I could round it to $4 and round it to 1 pound, so it should be around $4. Right? If I had $40, I would know I did something wrong. Okay, make sure you do a little bit estimating with your rounding. Okay, then the last part of the lesson is division. We've multiplied, but we haven't divided yet. And this one's got a cool little process. So before we counted the total number of decimals, division's different. You can't divide by a decimal. Doesn't this mean 0.42 divided by 0.6? Doesn't it also mean 0.6 divided into 0.42? There's something we have to do before we divide. Jasmine.
You gotta make the 6 a whole, just like a whole number, and so you have to times both of them by 10, so that it's just 6.
So wait a minute, you're saying times this by 10, that's going to move the decimal over to here. So you're saying times it by 10, and you said the word both.
Yes.
Oh, so wait, if I times the top and by 10, top and bottom by 10, I'm not changing its value. I'm keeping an equivalent fraction. So I'm also going to times this one by 10 by moving its decimal once, right there. Once, because 6 is now whole. That's all I needed to do. And do I need to write it? No. But I can get rid of that. So now I have 6 into 4.2. Will 6 go into 4? No. Bring up the decimal. Will 6 go into 42? Yes. 7 times. So the answer is 0.7. Wow. Let's do this one. Actually, raise your hand if you're like, show me one more, Mrs. Boone. I need to see one more. Everyone's like, I don't dare raise my hand. Okay.